Thank you, Lily. Good morning, and welcome to Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Carissa Moore. I am your Board of Trustees treasurer, and you will be seeing a lot of me today. Okay, so for this morning's announcements. Yesterday was the seed exchange, and we still have plants. If anybody wants some, they're out on the back porch. Today is the poetry potluck. So if any of you would like to read a poem, you have basically until I finish the announcements to pull it up on your phone. After service today is the mid-year budget review meeting. We are trying to keep it to a half an hour. After that is going to be the fourth focus group in here. Also, the young adult group is supposed to be today. No? Okay. Okay, never mind then. And then the Justice Coordinating Committee is supposed to meet tonight at 7 p.m. on Zoom, if anybody's interested. Also, if you're interested, Taco Tuesday is on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Next week, we have the new member info meeting on February 4th after service. There is a Zoom-only focus group on Tuesday, February 6th at 7 p.m. at the same time that Taco Tuesday usually is. Val Pals is on February 11th after service. If any of you are interested in participating, there is a sign-up sheet on the RE table in the back behind Robert. And I am told, yes, we need adults to participate. And then our Sunday service with Kusala is going to be on February 18th. It got rescheduled because he was sick, but I am told he is better now. Okay, project updates. The roof is in progress. we got a little slowed down with the rain, but I saw them up there this week. There's two parts to our roof, for those of you that don't understand. There's the flat part, which we can all kind of see, and then right above our heads here is a part with a very, very slight slope. That part is shingled. So that part they were able to work on even though it was raining. The flat part, they need to wait until it's completely dry. So probably tomorrow they'll be able to get up there and work on the flat part some more. But considering it was raining Thursday and Friday, couldn't really work on that part. The fire alarm. The city is supposed to have the review completed this week, and the contractor is looking at February 12th or 14th as a start date. So yay. And now we have a gas line update. As some of you may have heard, Montessori is not getting any gas to their heaters. So they have space heaters right now that they're working with. I spent 2 hours out here on Thursday with the gas company trying to figure out what was going on. They think either when we had the gas line updated in the summer, something got capped off, or there is a valve that nobody can find, or there is what they call a restriction, which either means the line is clogged or it's collapsed. So to be on the safe side, they have turned off the gas to the building, so to the entire campus, so we do not have heat, we do not have the stove, and we do not have hot water right now. So you might have noticed it's a little chilly in here. We are trying to get that resolved as quickly as possible. Just in case, you might want to bring a coat next week. So we will keep you updated as that works out. And now I would like to turn the microphone over to our worship associate for today, Laura Mulroy.
Good morning. Welcome to Monte Vista's annual celebration of poetry and poets. Today we continue a long tradition in our history of sharing treasured poems with each other. A little later in the service, you'll be asked to come up and read a short poem, either one by yourself or another favorite poet, and I look forward to hearing what you've brought us. We begin our service by ringing the bowl 3 times. We ring it for yesterday and those who came before, for our ancestors and founding members, for our Tongva, Serrano, and other indigenous people whose matrilineal societies cared deeply for this land we now name as our home. We ring it to celebrate today. We welcome those gathered here, those joining online, our staff, our visitors, our friends, and sustaining members, our partnership congregation in the Philippines, all who walk with us on this spiritual journey we share. And as we await tomorrow, we ring it for all who will come walk beside us on this spiritual path that is ever unfolding. I would like to invite Maribel Dana up to come up and light the chalice. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. I know there are special instructions. There we go. May this light kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, the light of truth. Next, we'll join together in singing Spirit of Life. The lyrics will be on screen, or it's in your gray hymnal, number 123. We'll sing first in English, then Spanish. Please stand as you're able and remain standing after we sing so that we can recite our covenant. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. And now I invite Maribel Dana up to lead us in a responsive reading. It's number 490 in the gray hymnal.
Good morning. The name Mary Oliver rings and resounds through this land now. She is really one of the large names in poetry across the country, and I would guess the world. And this is her Wild Geese poem. which is often read on Poetry Potluck Sunday. So I'll begin and you do the response in italics. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies, the trees, and the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
Thank you, Maribel. And now I'd like to invite up our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, Robert Tidwell, to share a poem for all ages.
Good morning, everybody. Today's poem is Oh, the Things You Can Think by Dr. Seuss. You can think up some birds. That's what you can do. You can think about yellow or you can think about blue. You can think about red. You can think about pink. You can think up a horse. Oh, the things you can think. Oh, the things you can think up if only you try. If you try, you can think up a guff going by. And you don't have to stop. You can think about a slop, beautiful slop with a cherry on top. You can think about gloves. You can think about snubs. You can think a long time about snubs and their gloves. You can think about Kitty O'Sullivan Cross in her big balloon swimming pool over her house. Think of black water, think up a white sky, think up a boat, think up blues blowing by. You can think about night, a night in Nanoop. The birds are asleep and the 3 moons are up. You can think about day, a day in a dock. The water is blue and the birds are awake. Think and wonder and think. How much water can 55 elephants drink? You can wonder, how long is the tail of a zong? There are so many things that a thinker can think. Would you dare yank a tooth of the rinker fink? And what would you do if you met a jaboo? Oh, the things you can think. Think of Peter the postman who crosses the ice once every day and on Saturdays twice. Think you can think anything that you wish. Think a race on a horse on a ball with a fish. Think of light. Think of bright. Think of stars in the night. Think of a ship. Think up a long trip. Go visit the Viper of Vip. And left, think of left. And think about Beft. Why is the Beft always on the left? And why is it so many things go to the right? You can think about that until Saturday night. Think left and think right and think low and think high. Oh, the things you can think if only you try. Thank you. And now if any children present can come up and get our chalice, you guys can sing us to our classroom.
At this time in the service, we gratefully receive your offerings. And as a generous spiritual community, we have chosen to live out our compassion by sharing our collected offerings with a local charity or other nonprofit organization each month. All offerings not designated to fulfill pledges or support a fund drive will be shared 50-50 with an organization pre-selected by the Justice Committee and approved by the board. For the month of January, our Share the Plate offerings will be donated to 111 Hope Foundation, the 501c3 organization founded by our own Caitlin and Emmanuel Salgado. As Caitlin told us a few weeks ago, at 111 Hope Foundation, we believe in the power of hope and the potential for new beginnings. Our mission is to uplift and empower our community, offering a helping hand to those in need. Whether it's providing warm meals and essential support to the unhoused and low-income families, supplying school materials and mentorship to youth, or offering veterans the means to dress for success in job interviews, we're dedicated to fostering positive change. Please bring your offerings, including food for the Inland Valley Hope Partners Beta Center Food Bank, to the baskets at the front of the sanctuary while we listen to our offertory from Lily. Thank you. Let's remain seated as we sing our gentle song, Be Ours a Religion. I don't believe that poetry can save the world. I do believe that the forces in us wish to share something of our experience by turning it into something and giving it to somebody. That is poetry. That is some kind of saving thing, and as far as my life is concerned, poetry has saved me again and again. That passage from Muriel Rukeyser was shared by our member Bruce Mount as part of a previous poetry service. I'm grateful to Maribel Dana for preserving our poetry history here at Monte Vista and sharing it with me. Maribel has not only kept old orders of service, but she has records of readings, quotes, and poems from our history. I have wonderful memories of members past and poets past. Just as an aside, she even had the order of service from the 2006 Poetry Potluck, and I noticed that our board greeter that day just happened to be our current board president, David Adams. So we have lots of tradition going on here today. I can't think of a better start to our sharing than this quote from Bruce Mount from a previous service. Let's share some of these amazing saving graces with each other now. 3 things to remember. Andy Warhol, art is what you can get away with. 2, Nick Opera, in poetry, anything is permissible. It must improve upon the blank page. And 3, come forward to read a poem or two, but remember, please, no epics. We ask that you limit your readings to 2 to 3 minutes. And I'm going to start by sharing a poem that has been shared at this service in the past. It's called An Introduction to Poetry by Billy Collins. I ask them to take a poem and hold it up to the light like a color slide, or press an ear against its hive. I say drop a mouse into a poem and watch him probe his way out, or walk inside the poem's room and feel the walls for a light switch. I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. But all they want to do is tie the poem to a chair with rope and torture a confession out of it. They begin beating it with a hose to find out what it really means. Now, I'd like to invite you to come up one at a time and share a poem that you love. And I'm hoping our microphone here, Jaryus, is this microphone working? No? Do we have a wireless? We can also just have. Oh, let's just have it. And please introduce yourself and your
Okay, just one moment here. I'm Bob Taylor, and this a great opportunity. My family, Megan Gallagher, and my son Stratton Jack Gallagher, and his wife, and myself. We're going to Ireland in a few weeks, and so this is inspired. A young gourmet dining in Crewe found a rather large mouse in his stew. Said the waiter, "Don't shout and wave it about, or the rest will be wanting one too." And finally, this proves that limerick is the highest form of poetry. There was a young lady named Rose who had a large wart on her nose. When she had it removed, her appearance improved, but her glasses slipped down to her toes. Thank you, thank you.
I'm Sean Gallagher, and this might be the shortest poem of the morning, but we'll see. What I like about it is it describes change, and from my perspective, biological change. I can see that in this evolution, and it's the author is Bill Knott, and it's entitled "Poem." Fingerprints look like ripples because time keeps dropping another stone into our poem. Thank you.
I'm Maribel Dana, and this one's quite short, but it hits me. All people are children when they sleep. There's no war in them then. They open their hands and breathe in that quiet rhythm heaven has given them. If only we could speak to one another then, when our hearts are half-open flowers, words like golden bees would drift in.
All right, I'm Carissa. I told you you'd be seeing a lot of me today. I discovered Dorothy Parker recently, so this one is called Observation. If I don't drive around the park, I'm pretty sure to make my mark. If I'm in bed each night by 10, I may get back my looks again. If I abstain from fun and such, I'll probably amount to much, but I shall stay the way I am, because I do not give a damn.
Hello, I'm Dee. This poem is called A Child's Prerogative. It's for my son. Angels sing praise at your sleeping head, with softest dream caught in rest of thy bed. Within a gasp the full thunder awakes, and beside your world daylight takes shape. Without you I know life would not be dear. Upon my life it's your demands I fear. That which was just a day before your main focuses on this day of greatest disdain. This food is yucky, and that shirt is jizz. I'm worn thin by your endless switches. Hearken my tone within stern expression. Eating your veggies is not oppression. Bathing is not a form of cruelty. It is right despite wishes parity. As you lay to finally rest again, I find you exceptional, best of men. As you drift again to sleep's kind embrace, I cherish angelic calm of your face. As your mother, I've willingly chosen this glad chaos with love never broken. Thank you.
I'm Frankie. This is just my second time here. Spring. I'm 19. It's May. Just got my license. First thing I want to do is drive to the abandoned house up on Pearl Hill Road, open my trunk, wade through the wet spring grass, disturb 1,000 insects in the dappled sunlight, and pick my fill from the bank of fresh, deep purple lilacs blooming at the side of this ruined house. I pack them into my trunk. I am rich in lilacs, as rich as I've ever been. Go home and fill the bathtub with water. Dump the 50 branches into the cool water. Breathe in the scent. Place a huge vase of lilacs in every room of my house. Construct a delicate lilac chain necklace. One for me, one for Grandma Kimball, my 99-year-old friend down the road. Sprinkle the blossoms on my yogurt. Eat it up.
Hi, I'm Limria Smith, and this is our third time here. And this is a quote by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who's been very inspirational to me. The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen.
Most poems have been somewhat uplifting. This one's not. I'm sorry. To Those Born Later by Bertolt Brecht. Truly, I live in dark times. The guileless word is folly. A smooth forehead suggests insensitivity. The man who laughs has simply not yet had the terrible news. What kind of times are they when a talk about trees is almost a crime because it implies silence about so many horrors? That man there calmly crossing the street is already perhaps beyond the reach of his friends who are in need. It is true I still earn my keep, but believe me, that is only an accident. Nothing I do gives me the right to eat my fill. By chance, I have been spared. If my luck breaks, I am lost. They say to me, eat and drink, be glad you have it. But how can I eat and drink if I snatch what I eat from the starving, and my glass of water belongs to one dying of thirst? And yet I eat and drink. I would also like to be wise. In the old books, it says what wisdom is: to shun the strife of the world and to live out your brief time without fear. Also, to get along without violence, to return good for evil, not to fulfill your desires, but to forget them is accounted wise. All this I cannot do. Truly, I live in dark times.
Hello, I'm still Bob Taylor, and this is my good friend Jimmy Grissom has asked me to read the poem he wrote, and it's in loving memory of Maddie Manning Scully. It's called Strong. They asked me if he was strong, and I said yes. I said yes without hesitation, because I'd seen her pick up heavy heart off the floor, even when it weighed a ton. Because I'd watch her claw her way back from rock bottom, even when it was a steep and treacherous climb. Because I'd seen her lift herself up and drag herself through life, even when she was tired and weary to her bones. Because I'd watched her persevere, carrying the weight of her world on her shoulders. And they told me I'd misunderstood. They meant, how strong was she physically? How much could she hold in her hands and carry in her arms? But it was not me who had misunderstood true strength. It was them. Because they hadn't realized that all too often, the heaviest things we hold and the biggest weights we carry are the things that can't be seen. Listen.
Any of you read before and have another poem you'd like to share? We still have a few more minutes.
Okay, here's another Dorothy Parker one. This one's a little darker, just fair warning. It's called The Maidservant at the Inn. It's queer, she said, I see the light as plain as I beheld it then. All silver-like and calm and bright, we've not had stars like that again. And she was such a gentle thing to birth the baby in the cold. The barn was dark and frightening. This new one's better than the old. I mind my eyes were full of tears, for I was young and quick distressed, but she was less than me in years, that held a son against her breast. I never saw a sweeter child, the little one, the darling one. I mind I told her, when he smiled, you'd know he was his mother's son. It's queer that I should see them so. The time they came to Bethlehem was more than 30 years ago. I've prayed that all is well with them.
In the past, we've had many poets read their own work, and one of our poets is our Minister Emerita, Reverend Ellen Livingston, and I'd like to read one of her poems. It's called Who Asked? I didn't ask for autumns, winters, springs, or summers to pass me by with no regard for these last 8 decades. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't have to ask for milk and human kindness to keep me alive day in, day out. Growing up, growing old and older, I would never suppose to ask for an ambiguous gift called life. This world came wrapped in beauty and terror, and time's winged chariot so closely beating at my back. No choice. Take it, take it. No human hands turn the planet. Life begins, endings happen, gifts given, blessings received, tragedies, losses, victories, earned and unearned. We need not send to ask why, and besides, why ask?
Hi, I'm Will. This is one of the most horrifying things I can think of to do. Stand up here and talk to a bunch of people, so here we go. This is a poem called The Secret of Writing by my partner, D. Richards. Oh no. There we go. Writing is just like cooking, and you're an amateur chef, eternally. Still, you must cook at a 2 Michelin star place, for free. It must be perfect. It is simple when you know fire and all its possible angles. Fuel and temper those flames. Shape them in your intent, which is always perfectly clear. Cooking is nearly like writing. When there is love, it is good. But all you need is skill and love. You need skill, love, old grease, fear, and not overindulgence. All you need is lots and lots of meat.
Maribel again. I'm mainly up here because I forgot to give the author on the first poem I read. So that was All People Are Children When They Sleep, and it was written by Rolf Jacobson. So while I'm here, I'm going to share Langston Hughes, one that my students always loved, and I'm sure most of you have heard it before. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow.
Anyone else like to come up, share a poem? Well, thank you everyone for sharing your poems and your love of poetry and for joining us today for this potluck. We're now going to sing our closing song, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. And I'd like to invite Maribel to come up and extinguish our chalice, please. These are the words of Carl G. Seaberg. Through our temporary lives, the great currents of history run. Let us keep the channels open and free, so not to obstruct purposes greater than our own. Let us keep our minds set upon the high goals that bind us into one sharing fellowship of loving hearts.